Let's get good. I am the gamer under development, and this is GFW Academy Freecam 101. I am being joined, as always, with, or by, with, from, through, Goth.
Yes, I am here in all times and dimensions, apparently.
Yes, exactly. Goth is our conduit to the Freecam 101 tutorial. So what we're going to be covering today, guys, is a couple different ways you can set up some cool cameras for your, your Fire Pro Fed or your Fire Pro matches, whatever you want to do. That being said, there are some eccentricities and some tricks to this. So if there's any issues with the recording, because it was a complicated setup to get all the right windows to capture for this, please bear with us.
Boy.
Thanks, Goth. Thanks for the vote of confidence right there. The verbal vote of confidence. Oh boy. Oh boy, indeed. Okay. All that aside, we're going to jump into things. So I'm going to go ahead and start this match. We have our Young Lion technician that we built on the last tutorial versus Bobby Freedom here. And we're basically just using them to help us get positioning for these cameras. So as soon as this match starts, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pause the game. I'm actually going to skip the intros because we don't care. Okay. So we're going to pause right here immediately. And that's because this is where we're going to start working on our base camera angle. Now, in order to do that, I'm going to switch us over. Hopefully I just switched us over to the right thing. I can't guarantee that I did, but it looks like I did. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull up PWGR, which is the patcher for the mod pack. And we're going to go to the Freecam panel here. First thing I'm going to do is click Clear Screen Buffer. I recommend clicking this anytime you're making a camera angle. That might seem extreme, but the reality is that buffer clearing is going to be important because on certain angles you'll get this ghosting effect in the background, so I just turn it on for everything. That may be overkill, and I'm sure if it is, that Carl will say something in the comments and I will feel very stupid. There's nothing new about that. Let's go ahead and use move down here. So what I'm trying to do right now is I'm just trying to move down centered on that bottom turnbuckle there. And I'm also going to go ahead and, oh, well that wasn't right.
Nope.
Okay. And if I reset movement, it's still not right. So let me go ahead and click around on use Freecam again. I'm not sure what that was caused by. Here we go. We'll just use rotate up first.
We all know who that was caused by, not what.
No. We see, because this is a tutorial about the mod pack, we can't make the jokes about Carl the cameraman because that'll be confusing. So basically what I'm trying to do here, folks, and you can kind of see this happening in the background. Goth, you're gonna have to be my eyes because PWGR is actually blocking a lot of the. Maybe that'll work.
Okay.
There we go. That seems pretty dead center. Maybe one more to the left. Right about there. Okay, so what I've done is I've dead centered us on the turnbuckle. Now I'm going to start moving us backwards. And the reason for that is because we want to zoom the camera kind of out. And then we'll move up to kind of get positioning. Now, what's important for this cam, what we're doing right here is called a low cam. At least that's what I've taken to calling it. We're going to rotate up some more because I want to get a better angle. So you can see it's kind of janky here a little bit, but we'll move down. This should be fine. And then we'll move backwards a little bit. And the goal here is to get both of our ring posts into the camera angle, because if both of your ring posts are not in the camera angle, then if something goes on where the edits are too far apart, it's not going to look right. So we want to make sure that on our low angle, we're getting both of those in. I am going to go ahead and swap back to the game here, take a look and see how I feel about this. I think I got a little too low there. You see how we went so low on the camera angle here that that's better. That's better. For a minute there, our edits looked squished. They looked like they were quite small for the ring. So this is actually pretty acceptable, right? This is a good low angle camera. We're seeing both wrestlers. We're seeing both turnbuckles. It's just a nice pan of the ring kind of thing. If anything, I might move it inward a little bit more. And that's mainly just because we're seeing kind of this rough spot on the arena floor a little bit. And I don't like seeing that. So maybe right about there. I'm pretty fond of that being our angle. Now, if you're trying to be safe here, then you can go back even further. That's actually safer. The more you can see those two opposite turnbuckles, the safer the angle is going to be. So for the fact of trying to keep it more safe, I think I may actually end up backing up a little bit. But in that case, I can kind of move it up a little, and that will still hide that sort of weird texture overlap on the bottom of the arena right there. Seems good. So this is going to be our low center camera. And we're going to go ahead and open the presets tab here. And when we do that, I will have to switch over camera angles. So hopefully this will switch to the right thing. Looks like it did. I apologize for not being able to make these panels larger. You will have to view them as they appear, and that is just because of the difficulty in capturing them. So here we are in the, excuse me, in the camera presets tab. So we know we have our low angle that we want. We're going to go ahead and save that, and we're going to save this as low center. Now, something that we're going to be doing from here on out is we're going to be trying to build out in a very interesting way that has been shown to me by a member of the Mod Pack Discord community, Amsterdam, and that's his way of kind of keeping the angles looking dynamic and like you'd actually see on a real show. So we're going to be creating center, left, and right cams for every sort of angle that we make. So we have our low center here, so now we want to start making a low right, low left. That might have actually just messed something up, but we'll see. If that messed up the screen a little bit, guys, I apologize. Oh, that's much worse. Okay, there, let me fix that real quick. Wow, I don't know what that was all about, but okay. I'm telling you guys, it's actually super, super tough to capture this in the correct way.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. So now we have kind of our center cam. We want to get a left and right cam here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, let's go left. You'll see the increments here. There's 1 and 5. I'm going to go left about, I want to say 50. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And once I get there, I'm going to rotate the camera. And we'll try 25 at first. So 5 clicks of the rotate right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That kind of gives us a slightly different angle. I'm going to go ahead and click this another 5 times. So that should take us to 50. I lost count there, Goth. I don't know if I did that right.
I think it was I think you did 2 clicks.
Okay. So forget that, guys. We went left 50. Just remember that we went left 50, and we're just going to rotate right until we get both turnbuckles into the camera angle like we want. That's actually a better way to do this, I think.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to center those. Okay, that seems pretty good, right? Like the camera's shifted just to the left a little bit here. So I'm going to go ahead and click the clear screen buffer again to make sure that we have that on. And then I am going to open our presets window and hop back over here so you guys can see what we're doing. And we're going to go ahead and call this one low left. And well, actually we have to save current first, then click the preset name, then call it low left. Order of operations is important here, guys. Okay, so now we have our low left. We're going to go ahead and hop back to the last screen. I'm going to close this, and we are going to... Actually, I made a mistake there. We're going to go back to our presets here. And the reason why is because we want to make sure we set our cam to low center again. And now we'll go back here. We're back to low center. We're going to go 50 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going to go ahead and rotate left until our turnbuckles are in a good position. Now, what we're doing here is basically the same thing we did on the other side. We're just creating another angle, right? So we're going to click clear screen buffer. We're going to open our presets again. We are going to swap over to the OBS scene that has our presets. Save current. Name it low right. And now, when we have this, what we can do is if we actually go into the game here for a moment, and let me switch back to 1, we can use our number keys 1, 2, and 3 to swap between these angles. And you can see it looks kind of like we've got a camera that's out here on a platform and maybe it's moving around a little bit, taking some different angles of the match. Just a nice little variety that you can produce there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to wait for opportune moments to create other cameras, right? So let's get them kind of dead center in the ring and grappling. That's what I'm looking for next. That's pretty good. That's pretty good right there. Actually, you know what? We can even kind of cheat the system here. If you have the mod pack and you have the ability to take control of edits, you can actually take control of an edit. Come here. Come here. There we go. Not quite perfect. I want to get them as close to dead center perfect as I possibly can. Come here. Perfect. Okay, so that's slightly off-center. It's not entirely perfect, but it's pretty close. And what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to switch over to, hopefully, the correct OBS window so you guys can see what I'm doing. And I am going to hop into our presets, switch us to low center. So this should have us sort of dead center. And from here, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and zoom in a whole bunch. Like a whole bunch. And what we're doing here is we're creating a close cam. This is going to be like your zoomed in camera. I'm going to click clear screen buffer, of course, because that's something we always want to do. And we're just going to keep moving in. This is going to be a close cam for when two wrestlers are heading it off in the ring and we want to just get in there and see what they're doing. I do want to point something out that's very important here. Very, very important. You use different camera angles for tag team matches than for singles matches. For singles matches, you can get away with a lot of close cams like this. If you do them in tag team matches, it's going to be dreadful. So we're not going to use close cams very much in tag team matches. But in single matches, this is kind of your bread and butter. This is where you're going to get these really, really nice camera angles. So this is our close center. I might even go in a little closer. 1, 2, down a little, up a little more. To make sure you leave enough room for like somebody to get vertical suplexed or whatnot. And that seems pretty good right there. Seem all right to you, Goth?
Yeah, seems fine.
Okay, so with that said, we are going to go ahead and open our preset window. I'll hop over there so you guys can see it. We're going to save current, and we're going to call this close center. Just like we did with the low angles, we want a close center. We're going to set that as our current camera, and then we're going to do the same exact thing we did before, where we jump into our camera angles to check OBS and make sure that that's right real quick. And we're going to go 50 over. So we'll do, where is it? Move left. 1, 2, 3. Actually, if we go 50, we're going to get really far out here. 4, 5. So we're going to go 25 instead, because that seems a little bit better.
Yeah.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to rotate our camera some more and make sure that we're still kind of keeping them dead center. That's what's really important from this camera, is we want the edits to remain kind of dead center. So we'll go a little bit more to the right there. Seems pretty good.
Yep.
Make sure clear your screen buffer is clicked. Open our presets again. Hop over here, save the current preset, and we will call this close left. Okay. That's simple, folks. That's simple. We're going to go ahead and set ourselves back to close center here again. We're going to switch over to the hopefully right window. I can't actually see OBS while I do this, guys, so if it's not right, I apologize. I'm trying. If you can't figure out what's going on, I apologize. Let's go ahead and hit clear screen buffer, and we'll go 1, 2, 3. That's how many we went last time, right? 3?
No, it's 5. It was 5 we went last
4,
time.
5. And then we'll rotate left here until we get them kind of dead center. And that's going to look like our camera angle has shifted just ever so slightly to the right. We will open the presets here again. Ooh, that's hopefully still going to switch us to the right OBS thing. It did. Lovely. I'm like paranoid about that, guys. I'm super paranoid. I apologize. So close right here is what we're going to call this angle. Okay, so now we have a close right. We have low and close angles so far. There are bird's eye view angles you can do. Camera angles themselves, that's something that you're going to want to do research on and decide what you want to do with those. I tend to use low and close for the majority of my stuff. The other one we're going to do, though, today for this is we're going to do the hard cam. And that is a fun camera to figure out, especially in Fire Pro, because it's not exactly ideal or perfect science. And I'll show you that here in just a moment. What I'm going to do first is we're just going to kind of let this show for a minute. I'm going to show you guys our new camera angles in action. Or I'm not, because I'm actually controlling an edit, so I can't do that at the moment. Okay, my bad. Come here. Get dead center with me. All right, that's pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. So we're going to jump back over to our... Oh, no.
Oh, no. What's wrong?
I'm just not entirely sure if it's going to be showing all of these things. Well, whatever. It is what it is. Okay. Hopefully OBS is showing things that I want it to show and not just random stuff. So we're going to go over to our PWGR window again. And here we are on our sort of close center. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to move right a whole bunch. Just as much as we want kind of thing. And then we're going to rotate the camera left. And this is going to be a lot of rotation. Now, there are some other tricks you can use with it. There is a mouse camera movement feature right here. And that would allow me to kind of free move my camera using the mouse. The left click will let you rotate. The right click will pan. And the middle mouse, when held, will allow you to zoom. There is a slight problem with this, which I'll explain in just a moment. I'll use this to set up this next angle and then explain why there's a little bit of a gotcha with it, because there is a gotcha with it. That's a pretty decent hard cam right about there, I think. Yeah, it's a pretty good hard cam. Now, if you're going to use this angle exactly like this may not actually be a big issue. You can go ahead and click clear screen buffer. You can go into your presets. You can switch over to our preset screen here, and we can go save current and be like, all right, so this is going to be our hard cam center. Now, I'm going to show you guys why this could potentially be an issue. I'm going to apply the hard cam center, and what just happened? Where are we at, guys? We're in outer space right now. And the reason we're in outer space right now is because when you use the mouse camera movement, sometimes things get a little bit out of sync. They get a little bit janky. So I've turned mouse camera movement off. I'm going to try setting our hard cam center again and see if it keeps us here. Okay, so it did keep us here, though. So that's pretty nice. Let's see what happens if we go ahead and move left here. Okay, so that actually worked out okay. Sometimes what'll happen is if you use the mouse camera movement, it doesn't have the right orientation point. So when you click move left, it'll like jump you to the other side of the arena. So you can use mouse camera movement to kind of set up your initial cameras. But for the sake of keeping your left and right angles in sync, I also recommend just using the move buttons. And there is a way to set rotation values so that they will use these numbers right here, but I actually don't know how to use that because I'm a spaz. So I'm not using it. So I'm going to go ahead and move left here quite a bit. I'm not actually sure how much. I'm going to go ahead and set us back to hard cam center real quick so that I can figure out how many I'm moving. Okay, so let's try this again. And I'm hoping that OBS is on the right window. It does look like it is. Beautiful. Trying to get OBS to capture all this stuff has been fun, guys. So I'm going to click clear screen buffer to start with, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's just do 10 to keep it nice and round. And then we're going to rotate right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Honestly, we don't have to count the rotate right because we're just trying to keep things centered, so that's all good. So this is slightly over. I feel like we could go more to the left. So I'm going to push this over to the left a little bit more here and then rotate right some more. The goal, once again, is to try to create some variety in our camera angles. And as you can see, when we do it this way, we're not actually able to see both posts. So at this point, we need to move backwards a little bit.
Yep.
To get those posts in just right. We'll move backwards a little more. And this is okay. It still just kind of looks like the cameraman is shifting slightly to get a different angle. That seems pretty good right there. I don't know that we'll be able to perfectly replicate this on the other side now because I wasn't counting stuff. And if you're you know, super specific about stuff, then count the moves that you use so that you can mirror your cameras correctly. But there's also something nice about it not being perfectly mirrored because that does seem like more organic human movement. Human beings are generally not perfect. Just throwing that out there. Hard cam left. Okay, so hard cam left is set now. We don't actually need that 3. That was me pressing a hotkey to try to make sure that we were on the right scene in OBS. So I'm applying hard cam center here because I want to get us back to the center. And then I'm going to switch us on OBS scenes, and we're going to jump back over to the Freecam mod. And now we're going to create our hard cam right. We're just going to go over a whole bunch and then start rotating left. And as you can see, we seem to be more zoomed out than we were previously. I'm going to click clear screen buffer here as well. So I'm going to move us forward a little bit and rotate left. The main thing is to try to keep that same sort of feel, right? So, And we can kind of see some issues here if you really look at it for a moment. You notice how the barricade here is covering the left turnbuckle? That's one of those things that can get kind of janky when you shift camera angles. So it is something to consider. Because of that, I'm actually not going to use this angle. I really don't want the barricade to suddenly cover things.
Yep.
And I'm not sure what we could shift to change that. I mean, if we move forward, it doesn't really fix that. At some points, if you start to rotate certain ways, you will kind of reveal where the 3D modeling is broken. Like, you can see it on the barricade right here. I'm hoping my mouse is actually on screen for this. It might not be. It's not. Okay, so lovely. Let me go ahead and see if I can fix that real quick. Capture cursor. There we go. That'll make that a little bit easier. So now you guys should be able to see my cursor on the screen, I hope. And I'm basically pointing out that the barricade on the bottom right of the screen, you can actually see through it to the floor. And that is simply because we're looking at the backside of the models where it's not actually placing a surface. And just because of the way that Unity works, we can kind of see through it. You can also see the crowd kind of getting cut off at a sharp angle here. So basically, camera-wise, we are in no person's land right now. We don't want to be here anymore. So we're not going to. Instead, we're going to switch over to our low center angle again. And we'll let the match run for a second. So there's a couple other cams you might want to set up here. I really recommend being careful with outside dive cams. Those are really, really tough to set up correctly. You're going to have to tweak them a lot to get them just right. But what I am going to try to set up here is some outside cams, and most importantly, come on, Bobby, please. Please, I know I'm a scrub. Please. Okay. Stay down. Stay down. Oh my god.
Oh god.
Have I mentioned that I don't actually play this game as much as I watch it? I'm just throwing that out there, guys. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Bobby is taking us to the outside here. Thankfully, he's going to clap up a storm. You going to come outside, or are you just going to clap? You're just going to clap, okay. Okay, you just clap then, buddy.
I had a feeling that might be the case. Oh, God.
Okay, hold on. We're going to cheat. Nobody sees me turning the computer level down here at the top. You can do that, by the way, with the bracket keys on your keyboard if you're using the mod pack. And I'm doing that primarily just because we need to ground him. Oh, for the love of...
Oh, my God.
Come on, man. You're computer level 2. Stop embarrassing me here. Oh my god.
Good to 0, mate.
Oh my god. This is ridiculous. Come on. Can you please, Bobby, please, Bobby, just sell for me, buddy. Just sell for me. God.
5 minutes gone.
How? No, my timing is not that bad. Oh my gosh. Okay, folks, eventually I'll get to the corner turnbuckle. Eventually that will happen. There. All right, cool. That's all I wanted. So now we have kind of a good setup for a corner grapple camera, or rather a corner dive camera. So, man, Bobby is just killing me today, guys. Just killing me. That's coming out of his paycheck. So we're going to move forward here because we're trying to get in a little bit closer. We maybe don't want to be quite as close as our close angle to make this kind of seem a little more unique. But we could get close. We could get pretty close here to make it a really dynamic angle. So that looks really good to me right there. Maybe down a little bit more to center them a little bit more in the frame. Composition is definitely a big part of this. So we could see a pretty good dive coming off from here, but I do think we want to give him a little more headspace up here for when he jumps. So that seems like a pretty decent dive cam right there. I'm going to go ahead and open up our preset window and save this, and we will call this Dive Center. The reason this is Dive Center, guys, is because we started from close center, or rather from low center, and we didn't rotate at all. So this should be centered to the bottom turnbuckle. So this is our Dive Center cam now, and we're going to go ahead and keep that as our active cam. And then we're going to jump back into our Freecam again, and we're going to do the same thing we kind of did already. We're going to go over to the left a little bit. So let's go 1, 2, 3 maybe. Maybe a little more, 4, 5. And then we're going to rotate until we center both edits in the frame. That's really what we're looking to do, is center both edits in the frame. so that we get a slight shift to the camera, but it's not super dramatic. And we'll call this one save camera, or save current, and we'll call this one dive left. And we should be able to tell the difference between these two now if we hit them, so that's dive center right there. And I'm not actually sure if we're capturing the preset or not. We might not be showing the preset window. But I mean, that's okay in this instance, because you guys should kind of have the hint of what we're doing right now anyway. So let's go dive left here, and we can see that it shifts ever so slightly to the left, like the cameraman has just moved himself over to get a better angle. Unfortunately, we can't set like AI cams to specific corners, because that would be really cool, because you could have them move left when they were in the right corner and right when they're in the left corner. But that's not really a thing, so we're not going to be able to do that. What we are going to be able to do, though, is go ahead and make our dive cam center active and do a dive cam right real quick. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's the wrong direction. Good.
Rotate.
Yeah, we'll rotate a little bit. I feel like maybe we want to go even further over, though.
Okay.
So I did about 10 there instead of 5.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's going to give us a more dynamic angle. We might remake the left one, too, to get a little bit more of a dynamic angle. Because the thing you want here is you want the shift to be enough to be noticeable, but not so much that it's jarring, right?
Yeah.
So this feels noticeable. The other one wasn't quite so noticeable, in my opinion. I'm going to make sure we're on the right window here. We're going to save current. We're going to go dive right. And I'm reasonably sure here that if we did this correctly, we will be able to tell a difference between dive center and dive right immediately. Okay, so that's dive center.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and take a look at dive right.
Oh, yeah, that's a definite change.
Okay. I actually didn't notice the shift myself, so I might make that more pronounced in the future. Oh, okay, yeah, I see a slight shift there. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a noticeable shift. Let's see what happens when we go from dive center to dive left here. It's a slight shift. I think it's okay, though. It doesn't have to be super, like, you don't need it to be super crazy. Like, obviously, they're not going to fly across the arena with their camera in hand.
Yeah.
So you just want to kind of make it look like they're walking around, they're capturing angles. Honestly, something fun we could do with this, now that I think about it, if we were... I'm not sure it'll work, but we can try it. Let's go to dive center real quick. And the reason I want to do that is because I want to try bringing our camera angle down a little bit. And then rotating up. And the reason for that is because it'll look like they're looking up from the floor. So one thing you can do is you can kind of try to think about this as if you were a camera person at ringside or something. So if I was a camera... Now, this is me getting, like, super experimental. The chances of this working correctly are pretty slim, to be honest. But that's pretty great right there. That actually looks like you're...
Yeah, really good. If you just zoomed out a little bit, I suppose.
Well, the other thing we could do here is there is a turnbuckle and a dive cam. Those are two separate cams. So we could do a turnbuckle cam where we just zoom in on the edit on the turnbuckle. I've never done this. This is going to be something we're testing out. We'll give this a chance, right? We'll call this the turnbuckle cam. Whoops, gotta save the current. I don't know if you guys can see the preset. You should be able to now. Turnbuckle cam. I can't guarantee that this one... Oh no, what did I just do? Close, center. There we go. This is the turnbuckle cam. Yeah, turnbuckle cam there. So there's no guarantee this turnbuckle cam is going to work when we test it with the actual AI, but it's something we can try, right? It's something fun. We'll see how this goes. I'm trying to think of what other ones we really want. Dive cam, you're probably good using a low angle cam. The other, actually, now that I think about it, the one thing that we may really, really want to work on a camera for that we don't have yet is ringside. Ringside is always really, really tough to get, in my opinion, good solid camera angles. So I'm going to continue the game. We're going to miss that leaping attack because Bobby is, like, super good. Can you please come to the outside? Come on. Bobby, you got to work with me here, man. You got to work with me. Oh my god, just let me throw you outside, Bobby, please.
He's like, nope.
So the other thing too is like it's easier to get an outside cam for the top or the bottom side of the ring than the top side of the ring. So I'm actually gonna try to throw him out over here if I can. Oh come on, Bobby, you're killing me, brother. Oh my god.
Oh, Chaos Fury.
Oh my god, Bobby is legit killing me, guys. What? No, my timing is not this bad. I call BS right now. My timing is not this bad. Oh, for the love of... Come on. You know what? Fine.
There you go.
Fine, you asked for this. You asked for this, Bobby. You've angered me. Now you're getting it. I'm done. I'm done playing games with you, sir. Okay, follow me out. Please just follow me out. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, and you can see how that dive was a problem. So we might want to get him to dive so that we can fix that dive cam. But for right now, we're going to pause because we're ringside.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Guys, that was... Bobby is not cooperating. He's not being a good employee right now, I'm just saying. Clearing the screen buffer. We're going to go right. We're going to rotate left.
He's just hazing the young lions. That's what he's doing. He's hazing them.
I'm rotating a whole bunch left here. I might actually go for mouse camera movement here, even though we know there can be issues with that. And that's primarily just because I feel like we need to play around here to get some better angles. So ringside, you are going to want a slightly higher angle camera, in my opinion. And that's just because it can be very difficult to see what's going on if they go to the floor or something.
I mean, are you going to rotate it around the post a little, or...?
Well, no, because the problem is if we rotate it around the post a little and we get it perfect for this side of the ring, what happens when they come out over here?
Yeah.
Because those aren't separate, right? So I just want something that looks pretty good here, and then I'll try to get it, you know, reasonably well for the other sides. I'm just making sure they stay dead center in the frame. I think this is an okay outside cam. The main thing, in my opinion, for outside cams is you need a higher angle from above so that you can actually see when they go to the ground on the sides that cover them. Like, if they go over here, we're still not seeing what's going on. There's just no way. There's no way unless you do a completely overhead cam, and let me tell you, the game engine doesn't like that. It does not look good. So this is probably as good as we're going to get for an outside cam. I'm going to go ahead and go to our presets here, and I'm going to say save current, call this the outside cam, and it's quite clear now that we do need a dive cam, and we don't have one. Well, an outside dive cam. That dive was horrendous. Like, we completely lost the script on that one. Oh boy, we lost the script on this one too. That was because mouse camera was on. Okay. Close center. Oh, I didn't want close center. My bad, guys. I'm trying to get this right. Low center is what I wanted. There we go. And I'll switch back to this, and then we will continue to get wrecked by Bobby Freedom. Oh my God, Bobby, please, please, Bobby, back up, brother. No, bad Bobby, no cookie.
No cookie.
Come on, you. It's your turn to go outside. He counters every time that I go for a whip outside. I swear, guys, I swear, I'm not this bad. He just auto counters every single time.
Oh my God.
Bobby, please, I'm sorry. I'll pay you more. Just relax, bro. Oh my God.
Oh my God, the hazing he's giving this young boy.
Every single time.
It's like, what's your finish,
oh my
kid?
Bobby, would you stop resisting? Oh man, that dive cam was rough. Like, that was
Ladies and gentlemen,
really,
that
really
is
rough.
Definitely a sentence you can take out of context for good later on.
Come on, you. Come on. Can you fall to the floor already? No, don't bring him back in. Oh, for the love of... It helps if you have two people, guys. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay.
Okay.
So, what we want to do here is we want to set up for a dive, but we need to stop the camera when the angle goes wonky. So right there. Right there, the angle goes real wonky. We can't see what's going on. And now we need to kind of fix our camera settings. So we're going to go over and make sure we're in our Freecam settings. We're going to move the camera down.
Yep.
Now, what's important here is you don't want to go down too far, because when he leaps, the camera is going to jut back into position. So we want to make sure that this is just about right. So like right here seems pretty good, I think. So let's go ahead and keep it simple.
Jump jarring.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the jump's going to be jarring no matter what you do, I think, but we'll see. Outside dive cam. So we've saved that in our presets. We're going to apply that camera. You guys ready to see how this works out? Because I know I am. This is for everything.
Okay. Instead of going up, it goes down.
Okay. Well, yeah. That's a thing. That just happened, guys. This might be an instance where the default cam is the right cam, to be 100% honest.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what it is? I know what it is. Hold on, I got this. So this is low center, but low center is wrong when we hit the ropes. So we need to hit the ropes again. Okay, so at least we hit him with the dive. So screw you, Bobby. Okay, so here we go. Now, what we're gonna do here is we know that if we go down here, we're gonna jut real harsh down and it's not gonna work. So what I wanna do is I wanna clear screen buffer. I wanna go down maybe one time and then back. That seems really good.
Okay.
Let's hope this works, guys. Let's hope this works.
Let's hope.
Save current. We're going to get rid of our previous outside dive cam because that didn't work. I'm going to call this one outside dive cam. Showing you guys that now because it probably wasn't on screen. To get rid of something, you just click it here and then click delete selected. You can also export these presets by clicking export preset, and you can import presets by clicking this import preset button here. And then after this one, we're going to get into the Cam AI editor because we've spent enough time just getting different camera angles. I just want this dive to work first. Ooh, okay, so that was a decent angle. That was a decent angle. It still wasn't great, I don't think.
Yeah, it wasn't 100%, but it was. Did it? It was still in frame.
Yeah, that'll do for right now, guys. That'll do for right now.
God.
Let's pause this up real quick. Set this correctly, and then hop over to our presets here. So now we're going to get into something a little bit more advanced. We're going to jump into our actual Cam AI editor. Now this is very different, and there is one step to this that's kind of important. And now that I think about it, we haven't really done that step, so I'm going to go back to here. In order to do the Cam AI editor in a way that functions every single match without you having to mess with it, you have to do something very important. You have to reset the movement, and you have to capture the default camera. This is the default camera right here. So if we go to presets here, save current, we can call this default cam. Now, I do want to point out one very important thing about this. This is the way that Carl recommends working with the mod, which is why it's very, very important to do this if you don't want to have problems at all. That being said, I'll show you guys the issue with that in just a moment. We're going to go into Cam AI Editor, and we're going to call this cam the singles cam. This is because you should have a different camera for singles matches and multi-man matches, because once again, in multi-man matches, you kind of want to keep back further because people can be on opposite sides of the outside area, and then the camera will go crazy. So this right here is just going to be our singles cam. We then need to define a default cam. In this case, we're going to use the default cam that we just created. And then we go in here for cam presets, and there's all these different camera triggers that we can use. Now, in order to show this off, I'm going to keep this simple. I'm going to set our cam time to about 5 seconds, so the camera will switch every 5 seconds or so. And we're going to start with our low center. Our low center is going to be our general cam. It's also going to be a cam that we use when people are running an Irish whipping. It's also a cam that we will be using when people are moving. It's also a cam that we will potentially be using when, let's see, what else would we want to specifically trigger that low center? And corner to center, we'd want that to trigger. Finisher signature, not so much. Match end, yeah, we would probably want that on our match end. So now that we've kind of set everywhere that we want our low center, we can also go back and add our low left, our low right to all of these. I'm not going to do that at the moment, and that's because I also want to do some of our other cameras here. And I'm basically using low center as a marker for what cameras should go in each of those sections. Now, something to take into consideration here is that, well, we'll get to this. We'll get to this. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys right now. So we're going to go close center, and we're going to use that for grapples. We're going to use that for submissions and pins. We're going to use that for tests of strength, strike exchanges, taunts, we can use that. KO cams, sure, we can use it for that. And then we'll come over here. We'll use it for finishers. We won't use it for near falls. We won't use it for climbing the cage. Actually, now that I think about it, our low center should be on near falls and climbing the cage. Now, you don't have to use every one of these categories. I'm specifically using every one of the categories, but I'm doing that for a reason. And when I get to that, you guys will understand why. It's mainly to make a point. So I'm going to take our turnbuckle cam we made and put that for the top rope cam. And then we have a dive center, which we're going to use for our dive cam. And then we have a ring out dive, which we have our outside dive cam for. And then for down cams, we're actually not going to use the outside dive. We're going to use the low center. And the reason I'm doing this all is to make a point. Okay, so we have a camera in every single angle now, right? Everybody at home's following along. We have a camera in every single angle. We're going to save our cam AI here. We're going to close this window. We're going to go to our camera presets. We're going to select our singles cam and click use this camera AI and then apply. And then we're going to back out. And now we're just going to go ahead and watch our match.
3.
Now what's important here is I want you to watch the camera angles. Oh, I got to get back in the ring. Bobby, get off me. You see that camera angle right there, folks? What camera angle are we on right now? Goth, what camera angle is this?
That was the default.
Did we put the default camera in any of our settings?
I do not think so, no.
So why are we on the default camera then?
You tell me.
Because no matter what, if you set the default cam as your default camera, then it's going to trigger sometimes. It's going to trigger at certain intervals. It's going to be part of your camera setup. And that might be fine. Like, honestly, that is the safe, secure way to work. It becomes sort of a fallback camera. But that being said, if you do it that way, it means that you're not going to be able to... Ooh, you could see that when we got to the other side of the ring there might be some issues with our low camera there. We might need to fix that. I'm going to go ahead and put Bobby down there and go to the other side. And you guys can see that if we do that, well, we didn't keep him down long enough.
Yeah.
Bobby, stay down. So if we go to the other side of the ring here, our low camera, it's all right. A lot of this is just testing, right? Okay, so now we put him down with that snap suplex, and now we can see our low camera has some issues. It's zooming out a little too far. We might need to change the low cam a little bit, which means we also need to change the low left and low right. So you definitely want to test those extremes out while you're making your cameras. Here, if we had a corner to center, this would be a good chance to use it. And we're back to our default cam. Okay, so if you don't want the default cam to appear at all, then you have to do something very different, and there are some gotchas with that as well, so I'm going to show you guys that one now. So, we're going to jump over here. We're going to go ahead and turn on clear screen buffer, even though we don't need to. I turn this on religiously because if you don't, you're inevitably going to get a part where there's ghosting and it's going to throw you off. And we're going to go into presets, and then also into our Cam AI editor. We're going to go over here and select Singles Cam and Load Cam AI. So the reason it's switching back to the default on occasion is because the default is the default. Now, if we didn't want that to happen, and this is use at your own risk, because Carl actually recommends against doing what I'm about to do. We could go low center as our default cam. We can save our cam AI. And what you're going to notice now is that if I let the match run, we're no longer going to see that default cam at all. It's just not going to show up. I'm going to set up our singles cam, make sure it's set to use this AI, apply it, and then set us back to the correct OBS scene. And now as we go, we should no longer, if he doesn't pin me here, we should no longer be seeing that default cam at any angle in the match. So we'll zoom around a little bit, we'll do some different things here, but what you will notice is we'll no longer see that default cam, and I've run full matches to test this out. So if you don't want to see your default cam, this is it, guys. This is payback. While we test this out, don't mind me, I'm just gonna beat the hell out of Bobby Freedom. This is for making my life harder. Yeah, what now, Bobby? What now? With your cam AI set, or with your AI settings at 2. What now? Just gonna brutalize you. So anyways, the bigger point here is that we're not going to see any of those default cameras. I'm gonna lay him out real quick because I want to check out our Turnbuckle Cam, see how that looks. Oh boy, so that's a problem. Dive cam looks fine, but the Turnbuckle Cam didn't exactly work out. Oh, and there's our finish.
Give up.
Go for it. Tap out, Bobby. Tap. We're done with you.
Give up.
Oh my god. So resilient.
He didn't tap.
Come on.
Get that angle, boy. Get it.
Ah, you tap block. Ah!
Give up.
Beautiful. So once again, though, the most important thing here is we're not seeing any more of those, collisions. Human error there, folks. Human error. We're not seeing any more default cams, though, which was the big point here. Now I'm going to show you guys the gotcha to that. This is the important thing to know if you do use a non-default default camera. What that does is that creates the orientation point for your initial camera in the match. So if I go into here, and I start this match, we're going to skip this intro, skip this intro. The match has started right now.
Fight.
Where are we? Well, we're nowhere. I've actually got to trigger one of my camera presets, and then that'll fix it. But that's the cost of not having the default cam in your camera lineup. So if you don't want the default cam in your camera lineup, what you do is all of your cameras are hotkeyed to your number keys at the top of your keyboard. So we would start the match. We would go ahead and, pick... I'm picking a tires. You guys probably can't see that screen, actually. We go ahead and start the match, and as soon as we do that, we just hit a camera key.
Fight.
There we go. Everything's fine. We're starting with low right here, it looks like. And then the cameras should all switch properly after that. Yep. There we go.
Yeah.
Everything is nice and simple. So that is sort of the cost of doing business in this way, is that you do need to be mindful of the fact that your camera is going to be off when you start the match. However, you will not have any standard camera angles in your match now, which is kind of cool in and of its own right. That being said, we've obviously got some issues with our low angle cam here. I'm taking control of our young lion again, which means I'm about to get handled by Bobby Freedom. But we did notice, for example, that when we were on one side, they were on the other, the camera got a little crazy. So to fix that, what we would do is we would zoom our low angle camera back a little bit further. The camera essentially moves when it's having trouble keeping both of the edits in frame. So if you find your camera is jutting or being crazy or anything like that, what you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to zoom the angle out and things. The one gotcha I do have here, guys, is tag matches. So with tag matches, you really, really want to test your cameras, and you want to keep them zoomed out as much as you can. And the reason for that is quite frequently in a tag team match, you'll have one legal man in the ring fighting two illegal team members from the other team, and then the other legal man will be on the very edge of the outside area fighting with the illegal members from the other team. So you'll potentially have one guy standing over here, and one guy in the ring by the turnbuckle over here, and camera angles just get wonky at that point. So you really, really need to keep it zoomed out for tag cameras.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you can't... Oh, see, our turnbuckle cam looked okay on that turnbuckle, but it didn't look okay on the other turnbuckle. If we get up here, it looks bad. Yeah, pretty bad.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of keep that in mind when you're planning your cameras. Looks good here. Doesn't look great on the other turnbuckle. And you'll notice we stay in this cam for as long as our time is set. So if you have really, really crazy angles like that, you probably don't want to set your cam time to very high. You maybe want it to be like 3 seconds or something. Because what we would have liked to see there, ideally, with that turnbuckle cam, we're going to get a turnbuckle cam zoom in, and then we're going to get a dive cam zoom out. That looked perfect right there.
5 minutes gone.
Yeah.
Bobby, please. I'm sorry, Bobby.
Oh God.
So that's really the breaks of the whole thing, guys. That's all I have on cameras. It's just a play with it and see what you can get kind of thing. If you guys want some camera angle presets like the ones that I built in this tutorial, let me know. I can always export those and upload them for you guys somewhere. But honestly, I'm not going to do that unless people ask me to, and the reason why is because you're going to gain so much more value with this by playing with it yourself. Like, it's not going to do you good to import other people's camera angles, because if at any point something goes wrong, you're not really going to understand why it went wrong or how you can fix it. You're much, much better off building them yourself so that you can see the kinds of things that have an effect and how you can tweak them if they have problems. Goth, thank you for joining me through this wonderful, amazing technical cluster screw of trying to make this tutorial.
My pleasure as always, kid.
Folks at home, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. If I made a huge mistake and didn't have the presets up while I was working on stuff, hopefully I can fix that in post. And we will see you next time.
See ya.
Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to go ahead and give us a like or subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time. Bye!